Sagittarius, there might be a very exciting or unexpected blessing coming up from beneath the surface. And I say that because I pulled a few animal cards for you. I have the whale and the oyster that came out first. And when I saw the whale, it really made me think that there is something big kind of hiding beneath the visible surface, what is known, what you can see right now. And with the oyster, there is this gem, this pearl that is inside of you, this gift or this blessing. And this might be something that you are uncovering in yourself, but I actually feel like for some of you, there is something in your life coming in that is unexpected, but feels very much like a boon. So very welcome message right out the gate here. I did kind of sink into this a little bit deeper, no pun intended. And when I was really connecting to the whale, it did feel like some of you are very emotional right now. And I don't mean emotional necessarily in like a bad way. This doesn't necessarily always have to mean something negative. If we will come into focus here. There we go. It feels like you are in a very reflective place. And maybe you are sorting through your own emotions. Maybe you're kind of supporting somebody else right now pretty intensively. And it's interesting, because the whale and the oyster are both water cards. This isn't necessarily your element. So it feels like you're kind of in a different mode right now, if I could be so honest, Sagittarius. Maybe you're feeling a little less active, a little more receptive, I don't want to say passive, though. I feel like the energy for you is more biding, waiting, being very intentional. That is kind of what I'm getting for you right now, and even reconnecting with what it is that you really want with your heart. I do also feel like for some of you, the whale represents this sort of thing where it's like, you might be very good at something. The whale is very at home in the seas, in the ocean, but it still needs to come up for air. And I am getting a message for some of you, like, you do need to give yourself some time to take breaks. Even if you're doing something that you love or something that feels very aligned for you, it's important that you tend to other things as well, that you still take care of yourself. So don't neglect yourself here. And I do feel like with the oyster, you really do have gifts that are meant to be shared with the world. Don't feel like you need to hide something. Don't let the imposter syndrome cause you to close yourself off. Because you do have something that is very valuable, and that might be something that is actually getting noticed. You yourself might be the thing that is coming up from seemingly out of nowhere to the world, and you are being recognized. I did also get the elk card as well, which is a beautiful omen of stability, especially if you're starting a new life chapter, like a new job, moving into a new home, or a new parent. The elk kind of represents almost like the emperor energy, which is traditionally masculine or patriarchal. I don't necessarily mean that in kind of the more common context. I mean this more in like, there is just something about being of service, something about providing to others, providing for yourself, providing for the people that you care about. So there's a lot of nurture, there's a lot of care, and I do feel like you are building something, and it's okay to kind of like give yourself some time. You don't always need to be on, Sagittarius. And that might be part of the imposter syndrome too. You might be second guessing yourself or doubting yourself because you're like, wait, am I actually good at this? Is this actually what's right for me if I need to take breaks? It probably is. So I hope that comes as some good news. I will pull some tarot cards for you as well. If you have been following around for some time and have not done so already, I really encourage you to hit that subscribe and bell notification, as well as that like button. This helps you stay up to date with what's in the cards for you, and it also allows me to keep putting out these messages for all of you. I am also very likely going to be rebranding shortly, so if you do want to make sure that you're always up to date, definitely do that. Now is a better time than ever to follow along. I do have links in the description of this video as well for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions. If you'd like to work one-on-one, you can book that on my website. And just remember that these are also general readings, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are necessarily going to be meant for you. It's up to your own intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to your own life and what should be left behind for somebody else. You may even want to pause this video and just take a moment to really connect with yourself, connect with the energy, so you can really feel what resonates for you at this time. Anything for Sagittarius? Any messages for Sagittarius at this time? Interesting. So I do feel like you are acting on some plans right now with the Two of Wands and the Page of Wands. And I think this is something you've actually already embarked on. Actually, hold on. I feel like you've already planned something. You've planned the next step. You've figured out where it is you want to go or what it is that you want to do. Or it's important to kind of remind yourself, where is my destination? Where is my goal marker right now for whatever it is that I'm doing, whether this is talking about job, relationship, your life. It feels like it's important to kind of reconnect with the perspective, with the plan that you have laid out before. I do feel like it's important for you to take action as well with the Page of Wands, because it feels like there's been a lot of creativity, a lot of ideas, but sometimes this passion doesn't always translate into something that is very dedicated or something that is very consistent. The energy may have been very stop and start. And so you'll kind of plan things, you'll set things in motion, and I'm almost getting a sense of maybe a lack of follow through. And you know, that might not actually be a bad thing, because I was picking up with the animal cards, almost like a stop and start, needing to take breaks. But it's important that you are acting nonetheless, that you are still taking those forward movements. But it is also kind of important to remember that this is definitely a marathon and not a race when I see the Two of Wands here. And it's important that you really remember the bigger picture right now. Some of you may need to be walking away or giving yourself space. Honestly, this is literally just what I was getting with the animal cards alone. I feel like I'm kind of getting a repeat message here, but this I am taking as double confirmation. It is okay to walk away from things right now, especially if there's a power struggle or an ego battle between you and another person. Or what I'm really feeling right now, Sagittarius, is like you are trying to force yourself through something or push something through. And it's like the more you are trying to make that happen, the more resistance you are in. I'm kind of getting the analogy of like a Chinese finger trap. The more you try to pull away, the more stuck you become. And it's needing to kind of lean into the moment, to be very attuned. What do I need to be doing right now? That is actually going to be the thing that kind of releases you from this situation. And so ironically, it does feel like it does feel like you kind of need to let yourself recharge a little bit here. Especially if there is this like, I'm almost done, I'm almost at the finish line, I'm almost there. It feels like you're really trying to push something through, Sagittarius. And that could just be kind of applying to life right now. It might not even be about one thing. The change or actually challenge here is the Eight of Swords. You are afraid of getting stuck in your head. Maybe you've done this before. I'm kind of getting this as like, very interesting reading, Sagittarius. I feel like you have maybe been stuck in the past and very caught in your own thoughts, caught in your emotions, caught in your feelings. And because of that, it's made you wary of resting or taking breaks. But ironically, right now, the more you are trying to force something, the more challenge you are bringing yourself. And I already know with the whale and the oyster at the beginning of this reading, when you least expect it, that is when something is going to come to the surface. That is when something is going to develop. Bottom of the deck, the world, as I say that too. So yeah, there's definitely a big shift. There is a big change. You're working to change your life, to open new chapters for yourself. And you are doing this, Sagittarius. You will open this door. And I think it's going to kind of happen when you least expect it, or when you almost like just let up a little bit. And that doesn't mean give up. Sometimes you just need to kind of walk away to kind of get the insight or the answer that you're looking for. Or it's like when you're looking for your keys and you can't find them, and then you're like, okay, whatever, you give up, you take a moment, and then you find them sitting right on the counter. You just weren't seeing them. You were stuck in this weird headspace. I'm kind of getting that right now with the energy. Like, the more you're trying to force something, the more you're trying to make something happen, you're actually missing information right now, Sagittarius. There are things you don't see, and there's actually opportunities and blessings you're not seeing. There are solutions and answers that you're not seeing. Yes, you will move forward. You will see this to the end with the Six of Swords. There is a transition in the future. Some of you could be moving. Some of you could be changing jobs or leaving a situation almost in like a physical way, honestly, with the Six of Swords. Otherwise, you are leaving something familiar behind and charting off into something unknown or something new. But I really do feel like you are leaving something stormy behind you. You are dropping these swords, leaving these swords behind. And that's the thing, like, when you stop making your life a battle, you win. Very, very interesting. Because sometimes when I see the Five of Swords, it's like, yeah, you might be able to push through this, but at what cost? Especially this image here, like, it could be very self-destructive. You could literally be causing a division in yourself. You don't need to try so hard. You don't need to try and force this right now, Sagittarius, your destiny, your purpose. You can trust in yourself a little more. Anything else for Sagittarius at this time? What's going on in relationships for you? We have the Two of Swords, so you might not be seeing eye to eye with somebody. This could also be about a connection where it's like, the more you're trying to solve the problem or get on the same page, the more resistance you are building right now. And so it feels like if there is a conflict in your life or some tension between you and another party, it's important that you're just kind of taking some time, pausing. Sometimes people see the Two of Swords as putting something off. I don't usually see that unless maybe it's in reverse or there's other cards that would kind of suggest that. To me, the Two of Swords always felt very intentional. It's very much like you are choosing to feel out a decision, to pause, to meditate. Yeah, and get very clear on your emotional needs, what is actually necessary with the King of Cups. You know, because sometimes when we're really trying to fix a situation, it's because we don't want to sit with our own discomfort or that ambiguity. And we might make it about the other person, like, oh, I don't want them to be upset or mad at me or whatever, but actually, we don't want to feel the burden of somebody else having that emotion, especially if it's involving us. So you kind of need to let people feel things out, let people feel their emotions. And frankly, Sagittarius, I think you even need to give yourself some space to feel emotions. I'm almost getting like a timeout right now. You know, take some time, reconnect with your heart. I feel like this is for you and another person. And then come back. You don't always need to solve problems right away. And there could be an unexpected solution. Yeah, I'm really feeling like this. Two of Cups. I feel like whatever sort of conflict or tension might be coming up in your relationships right now, there is actually still a very strong bond. And the funny thing is like with the Two of Cups in particular, there's almost this strength, this courage that is required in order to be vulnerable, to see someone in the eye, and to be seen, to be witnessed. There's almost this like trying to solve rather than trying to empathize. But I don't think it's coming from a malignant place, actually. I think whatever is going on in relationships right now, there is something very beautiful. in terms of like a dynamic you're connecting with right now, especially if there's a water sign, particularly Scorpio, but could also be Cancer or Pisces. Maybe even like a late Libra. And as I say that, I pull the Empress, which is Venus, which is Libra and Taurus. So those could be some energies you're connecting with as well. You know, Sagittarius, sometimes I think, speaking generally, you have a tendency to shut down things when they get a little uncomfortable emotionally. You might bow out of relationships when you see them going south because you are the archer. You do see things kind of from a far away distance. You see things coming before other people do. But sometimes you might make that mean that you need to leave relationships or leave situations. Like, oh, this feels kind of uncomfortable. This feels kind of vulnerable. You don't need to do that. Because I feel like you're actually growing right now, Sagittarius, in a very emotional way. And it's actually helping your relationships deepen. And it is making you more open to love energetically. Because even if you want love on a conscious level, a lot of people somatically, like they tense up. They have anxiety or avoidance relative to relationships. And I feel like there's some defense mechanisms that might be coming up for you right now. You or another person might be triggered. And it's important to kind of clock that. And almost just like the acknowledging is all you need to do right now. It's not about solving it, but it does kind of like deflate the balloon a little bit when you're able to understand something. And it does naturally change your patterns over time too, because you can't repeat the same cycles anymore when you have a new level of awareness. Anything else for Sagittarius? Any other blessings? Any other messages at this time? I just feel like you're moving forward. I do feel like there is something new and exciting here. Yeah, there is an end to a struggle. You know, the end is nearly in sight. The end you have been working towards with the Nine of Wands. You've nearly reached the next level. And often this is a card of perseverance, but I do feel like, again, there is something here about stepping away being very valuable to you, Sagittarius. And that's going to give you the insight or the opportunity that you are seeking or trying to find. Anything else for Sagittarius? Any blessings? Three of Swords, you are healing your heart. You are getting over maybe an old relationship or old relationship pattern. Because it does kind of feel like there's something in your love life actually that feels really good. And I mean, obviously these are general messages, so really use your discernment. And maybe this isn't even about a love relationship. Maybe this is about a friendship or a family member or another kind of partnership. But I feel like you've nearly recovered from a betrayal or heartbreak. You've healed. It's been hard. It's been painful. But I think you're about to see the fruits of your labor there, if you've been doing the healing that you've needed to do. Anything else for Sagittarius? Any other blessings at this time? Show us clearly, please. Any other blessings for Sagittarius? The Queen of Cups. This is all about connecting to your intuition, feeling the compassion, the calm, the serenity. Care. You're letting yourself feel cared for. And connecting to your own heart, your own intuition. And I think when you let yourself kind of drop your defenses and sort of name what your fears or insecurities or anxieties are, you're better able to discern between fear or desire and intuition. And we do have the Sun. I knew this card was coming out. I really do feel like there is a beautiful new beginning here for you, Sagittarius, or just this moment of like everything feeling like it's coming together. The Sun is just this very positive, auspicious moment. It is one of the most positive cards, arguably the most positive card in the entire deck. It signifies life force, vitality, joy, celebration. There is something here that is kind of renewing you. And I do just think there is a lot of healing, actually, that is taking place here. And you know, it's interesting. I'm kind of talking about all of these things, and we do have Saturn and Neptune in your astrological 5th house of Aries, of dating, of romance, of creativity. And so you're healing these patterns. You're dissolving limiting beliefs here. And these are timeless readings, but it's very likely that whenever you're watching this, from around the time it's posted, Saturn is going to be in Aries for the next 3 years. It will go back into Pisces for a little bit at the end of 2025, but Neptune's going to be there for like a decade. So it feels like there is kind of reimagining, reconnecting with what relationships can look like, what your creativity can look like, what your joy and happiness can look like. You're finally finding happiness. You're finding the happiness that you've been looking for. And it's almost, it might surprise you what that actually looks like, is the thing. That could be that whale, that oyster, like the opportunity, the new thing that is surfacing or taking you by surprise. It feels really big. It's like, how did I miss this? How did I not know? This is what my happiness was. How did I not see this coming? But maybe you're feeling it with the Queen of Cups. And the Magician. Yep, you are manifesting some things, and like, again, whatever it is that you've been desiring or calling in, I do feel like it's coming. You can just kind of trust in that. And that's not to say don't put any work into it at all. Obviously, you know, it's important that you act in the direction of what you're trying to create for yourself or what you're desiring. But I feel like there is something here where you're so focused, you're so on Sagittarius that it's almost like this constriction. You'll know in your body. You know, if you feel tightness and tension in your body, that's a very good indicator that there is some energetic resistance. And so kind of loosening your body can even kind of change your mind too, because we do have that body-mind connection. Yeah, I feel like there is something that you've really been wanting. Honestly, I want to even say like wanting your whole life. It's about to come, especially if that's involving a relationship or something with creativity. Maybe it's already here. And it's just a matter of changing your perspective, of letting yourself really heal so you can feel and receive it. Lovers, I told you. I'm taking this quite literally. I feel like there is a beautiful relationship coming in. I even want to say that this is the potential to be a life partner in some way. You're building a life together or going in the same direction with these migrating geese. Beautiful, beautiful card. But maybe this is also about you committing to your own heart path. Maybe you are choosing to love yourself and act in accordance with your best interests. That can sometimes be the Lovers too. It's that decision with the heart, that commitment. But I do feel like there is a relationship for a lot of you that is either coming in or that is really deepening. And it's like, you didn't know you could feel so loved. You didn't know it was possible. Wow. And I'm going to say, if there is a new person, I almost feel like this is actually a person who's kind of somehow in your orbit, has been in your life for a while, you just didn't notice. Or they were just kind of behind the scenes, or like you go to the same places, but you don't run into each other. Like there's something where this person feels very close. Again, that big whale beneath the surface. How did I miss this person? How did I not see you sooner? Beautiful. I think I'm going to end it here. I hope that this was helpful. I hope this gave you some beautiful things to look forward to, Sagittarius. I'm pretty, I don't sugarcoat things on this channel, so I hope that really excites you. Comment down below. What are you calling in? What is the thing that you're really trying to make happen? And how can you be more allowing? How can you just let things kind of flow a bit more? Maybe even give a little whale emoji or something. What is this blessing that is coming beneath the surface? How can you come up for air and take care of yourself and like let things sort of just happen? Again, you can find all of my links in the description of this video for my website, as well as all my other social media accounts. You can book a personal reading or distance energy healing session on my website. And you're welcome to check out the other readings on this channel, maybe for your moon, rising, or sun sign. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Sagittarius. I'm sending so much love and blessings your way.